Hello, today I want to talk to you about some of the sample predictive analytics that the data science team at HRClarity.Ai have put together. The first thing they've done is to predict who is likely to leave. Now, there's always a bit of a random element in who's likely to leave because of business conditions. So when things are really good, is that people are less likely to leave. And the team actually kind of created 5 different scenarios so you can see what the impact is of business conditions to whether people like to leave. And if you want to know who's the most at risk, you would kind of figure out who is most likely to leave when things are incredibly favorable. So you'll see here, I've put very favorable as a business condition here. And the team used something called multicolor simulation to kind of model the random element of business conditions to figure out who's going to leave. So in this case, the most important thing is to know is that 1479, 797, 1504, 1464, these are the employees most likely at risk of leaving, and these ones here are least likely at risk of leaving. So obviously incredibly valuable for you to know where the biggest risk is and what you can do, and you obviously can figure out what actions to take to kind of mitigate against that. The next thing that obviously is a really hot topic is gender D&I. Now, we all know 50% of the UK are women, and therefore, you'd expect that 50% of the workforce to be women if there are no biases at all. So in this organisation, 40% of the workforce are currently women here, and which might be a cause for concern. Given that it's obviously quite a bit lower than 50%. And this also shows this bit here is the hiring probability here. So a neutral hiring policy would be at 50%. So it shows that if you were to keep a neutral hiring policy, is that you would get an improvement in the gender mix going up to 48.7%. So you might decide that, well, perhaps we don't need to do anything in terms of taking positive action, which is allowable under the 2010 Equality Act. The other thing is that you might say, well, is 40%, because you don't know when a job comes up who's going to apply, and obviously you want to get the best person for the job, and so there's a bit of a random variable is that you're never going to get exactly 50% men, 50% women applying, etc. So what the team have done is create these probability distribution plots that allow you to see what the likely distribution is of mix over time. And so you'll see here is that 40% here is a little bit on the low side here. So it might be a bit of a cause for concern that there might be a bit of a bias, some kind of bias somewhere. Maybe not enough women are applying for this organization, or maybe there's something wrong with the recruitment process. You might also say, well, maybe we want to take a bit more positive action and actually really positively encourage more women to apply, and that will mean that there's a greater probability, there's 60% likelihood of women being hired. So if that happens, this is what's likely to happen in gender mix. And you'll also be able to see here is that exactly what degree of positive action needs to take place. And you see it even at 52%, which isn't very much, is that you'd get to that. So you might decide overall not to change anything here. But most importantly, it kind of predicts what's likely to happen and what the variation is going to be. And if you see, and the team are basically working on compare predictions with actuals, and if there is significant difference, it will kind of warn you that there's something odd going on here, which you can take greater investigation. It might be there's not enough women applying, or there might be a problem in somewhere in the recruitment process, and so you could give interview training. There's the same thing for ethnicity D&I, and again in this organization you'll see here is that the green line is where ethnicity neutral is. 14% of the UK population are non-white. Currently 12% are only 12% of this employee base are non-white. And again, it shows you here a neutral hiring policy, what should happen. So it kind of evens out here, shows you what the variation should be, and here the 12% here is within the kind of bounds here. So it doesn't look like there's anything going on here. Obviously, incredibly powerful is that you can HR Clarity is able to do this company wide, within country, within division, within department, and so incredibly powerful to nip things that are perhaps not as optimal as they ought to be as quickly as possible. Finally, I want to get to the reward optimizer. Now, in this organization here is these are the things that are driving retention, employer pension contribution, car benefit, and medical benefit. Now, if I were to get rid of the medical benefit, you'll see, eliminate that, doesn't change retention very much. You do save about £200,000. You get rid of car, big saving here. Now you're saving about 1.4 million a year, but people are leaving a lot earlier, 4.3. You might decide, well, if we boost employer pension contribution a little bit, there we go, 6%. So you'll see here, if you do that, not only are you going to save almost £600,000 a year, but also people are going to stay 1.6 years. So again, incredibly powerful tool for you to figure out how you might want to change your total reward package. And of course, HR Clarity can do this at different levels. It can do this for the management team, see what that is, what the impact of that is for call centers, group it by maybe in different countries, business units, etc. And so that you can kind of really optimize what is the right decision to make. And then once you kind of know what you're shooting for, then you can figure out what's the best way to implement that. There's much more that can be done, and I've kind of given you a very quick overview. Please do contact us. More than happy to come and meet with you and go through this and show you what needs to be done so that we can create these unique set of models for your business so that you and the management team can make much better informed and much more productive people decisions. Thank you for your time and look forward to meeting with you soon. Cheerio. Bye.